After the summer break, the Suzuki Challenge Series Swift Cup returned for its fourth round at Bushy Park, Barbados, where the Swift Sport racers shared centre stage with the Seaboard Marine Caribbean Motor Racing Championship during the annual Williams Digicel International Race Meet. There was action aplenty as a weather front passing close to the island caused frequent rain showers during qualifying on Saturday and racing on Sunday, but that did not deter the island's hardy spectators.
These are really extraordinary guys. Look at all of them, look. Family. We don't leave home without them. Every rally event you can find us at. We wanted to be here from 6 o'clock in the morning because that's how passionate we are about rally and stuff like that.
With 3 rounds and 8 races run, Ryan Wood has a healthy lead with 3 race wins over Easter weekend, 143 points. Jason Parkinson is 25 points behind thanks to 2 wins, while Josh Reed has still not yet won a Swift Cup race, but he's third, 13 points behind Parky. Snapper husbands Kyle Catwell and Aaron Paris have all joined the list of Swift Cup winners this year, although Catwell is on work placement off island this weekend. So to our newcomers. Sitting in for Catwell at Team ICBL is double Barbados Rally Club champion Rhett Watson, who represented his country here at the 2014 Race of Champions. Former karting champion Timothy Stewart arrives from Jamaica, fresh from finishing second on last weekend's Rally of the Kings. Making his Bushy Park debut, he will drive the Team Simpson Finance Swift.
I'm here with my pals at the Suzuki Swift Challenge and we will be right back.
Welcome back to Bushy Park as we prepare for the day's opening race. Snapper Husbands claimed his first Swift Cup pole position in qualifying on Saturday, joined on the front row by points leader Ryan Wood. Josh Reed sits on row 2 alongside impressive newcomer Rhett Watson. Jason Parkinson is on row 3 with Barry Gale, who has equalled his best grid position, ahead of Martinique's Pascal Calvel, that's his best grid position too, and Aaron Paris in the newly liveried Team Bushy Park Swift Sport. Carlos Edwards and Guyana's Christian Jeffrey are on row 5, Darrell Clark and Jamaica's Timothy Stewart bringing up the rear. As the lights go out, a cracking start for poleman Snapper Husbands, but as they go down into the dipper and the hammer for the first time, he's already beginning to lose out. Ryan Wood has eased alongside him and is ahead. Getting alongside him now, it's always a bit rough there, is Josh Reed, who pulls up into second place. Jason Parkinson there, challenging Snapper as well, and is through into third. So in the process of just the first 3 or 4 corners of the lap, Snapper Husbands has slipped from first into 4th place. Good battle there for second as we ride in car in the Williams Industries car with Snapper Husbands, with Jason Parkinson just easing ahead of Josh Reed. However, under braking for the dipper for the first time, Reed is back alongside. Snapper's in there ready to pick up the pieces if anything should fall a bit awry with that little battle ahead of him, but it doesn't do so at the moment. So on lap 1 out of 8, anybody going for the Joker? Yes, they are. Carlos Edwards in the Team Rockhard Cement entry, followed over the Race of Champions bridge by the Team Simpson Finance car of newcomer Timothy Stewart from Jamaica. And towards the end of the first lap, back in car there briefly with Snapper, and you can see a huge lead already. That's a couple of seconds, which in Swift Cup terms is massive for Ryan Wood on the end of that opening lap. As we move on to the third lap of the race, still some good battles. Snapper's got his 3rd place back. Well done to him. He's just got back ahead of Josh Reed. So he's back up into 3rd place. Josh Reed demoted to 4th. Woody easing away in the lead. Jason Parkinson 2nd in the championship, 2nd in the race, chasing him. on the half-distance lap. Oh, Snapper's just wasted all that good work that he did. He's surely going to lose that third place. Realises that he might as well take the Joker, as he happened to be virtually in the road anyway. So over the bridge he has gone. So he had already lost himself third place to Josh Reed. He rejoins behind Barry Gale in fourth, and fifth there ahead of him is Darrell Clark. So Snapper not being able to translate his first pole just yet, but he's already, of course, had one race win. We're on lap 5 out of the 8. A locked rear wheel there from Parky as he turns into the hammer. He's second, third is Josh Reed, fourth is Barry Gale, fifth is Darrell Clark, sixth is Snapper, seventh is Aaron Paris, eighth is Pascal Calvel as they all pile through. Still very closely bunched for the second half of this opening Swift Cup race of the day. Back in car with Snapper. Is he going to be able to make a move on Darrell Clark? Is he going to be able to dive along the inside? Yes, he does as they go down, but there's that damp patch there on the approach to the ICBLWs. He doesn't twitch on it though, manages to keep in line, and he has managed to ease his way up one further place as well. So he's now ahead of Darrell Clark and giving chase to Barry Gale in the Gale's Agro Products entry. Through the dipper and out through the MQI bullet they go. Lap 5 out of 8. Over the Joker bridge goes Darrell Clark, chased by Aaron Paris. And they're going to join just behind Pascal Calvel. No, in fact, one of them just in front of Pascal Calvel. That's Darrell Clark on the inside of Calvel. Calvel fighting to try and hold onto that position as they come through the Cockspur Cyclone, but he runs wide, all 4 feet on the grass for the Martinican. And he loses out not only to Darrell Clark, but also there to Aaron Paris as well. And he's lost a place also to Carlos Edwards. In fact, Calvel's lost yet another place there to Team ICBL car with Rhett Watson at the wheel today. So Pascal Calvel not likely to translate his best qualifying position so far into his best result. So down into the W's goes the second group. That's and Pascal Calvel decides he wants to get at least one of those places back. He's on the inside of Rhett Watson. He makes the maneuver stick as well. Tidily done. On the final lap then, Woody has yet to take his Joker. Surely he will do so now. Yes, he does. Over the Joker bridge he goes, and he's timed it to perfection once again. Not only does he get over the Joker and rejoin where he was in first place, in second place, so also does Jason Parkinson, but Josh Reed loses out. So Snapper, after all of that activity throughout that cracking 8-lap race, Snapper is back up into third as Ryan Wood wins. So Ryan Wood's fourth win of the season with another fastest lap extends his lead over Jason Parkinson by a further 7 points. Parky finishes second, with pole sitter Snapper Husband snatching third on the final lap. The top 6 completed by Josh Reed, Barry Gale and Darrell Clark.
We moved off the line and I figured I'll try the outside line and see what happens. It worked because he missed a gear and he moved off. I happened to nudge the first spot, and from there was good night nurse. From first lap to last lap, out front. The Giselle, number 1.
All in all, it was a good race. Woody got away a little bit on the first or second lap, and I couldn't rope him in. So the championship is on. He's first, I'm second, Josh is third, and that's how the race finished.
It was a good race. Very exciting, very competitive with Josh and Barry back in the car bigger than Suzuki. I thought it was a Vitara.
It was a good race and it was nice and close. The water on a couple of the corners made it very interesting. So choosing the right line was not the easiest thing in that corner, because sometimes you choose what is supposed to be the right line and there's madness. The car just starts to go all over the place.
It was an excellent race for me. I qualified so poorly. I started 11th and I came out to 6th, which is great for me, so I'm happy.
We had a good battle with Snapper, but he definitely had his speed today, so wasn't able to hold on to him.
It's more than just a race win now. It's men looking at championship points now, so Woody's behind in this race and we need to keep him there.
No, they're not coming for me. I started at the back. I come in for them. So it's going to be fun. Next race is going to be action for sure. I'm looking to come at least 3rd or 4th.
He beat me just now in that last race, but we can see what happens in the next one. We're going to be right back.
Nice car. When are you going to let me drive it? One condition. I love this song. Turn it up. Is that better? I think you're missing something. Is that better, sir? I think we might be late. Better step on it. You go park the car.
As Barry Gale promised before the break, we're right back at Bushy Park, Barbados, with the grid for the second race based on qualifying times reversed. And that puts Jamaica's Timothy Stewart on the front row with Darrell Clark, who'd already made good progress in race 1 to finish 6th. Christian Jeffrey of Guyana is on row 2 with Carlos Edwards. Aaron Paris and Martinique's Pascal Calvel sit on row 3. Barry Gale and Jason Parkinson on row 4. Rhett Watson lines up alongside Josh Reed on row 5, with Woody and Snapper on the back row. Are you ready? Because you need to be. The track is damp after a recent shower, and it's all going to be action. So as the cars pull away from the grid, it's Darrell Clark on the front row alongside Timothy Stewart, who makes the best of it. You can see the dampness on the track as they go through the kink and down into the hammer for the first time. It's going to create problems for the drivers. You can already see splashes of water on the screen as we ride in car with Barry Gale, who's slipping down the field at the moment, led by Darrell Clark. Carlos Edwards and Timothy Stewart are the leading three. Out of shape there is Christian Jeffrey. He's not having the best day of it, is he? And as he rejoins, then there's Snapper spinning in front of him. Now, what on earth happened there? Looks as though Snapper did it on his own, but we'll see in 1 second. We're riding in car with Snapper. No, he got a bit of a tap there as Christian Jeffrey was rejoining, tried to gather it all back together, ended up spinning round, but was avoided very successfully by the rejoining Christian Jeffrey of Guyana. So, what's happening at the front? Well, Carlos Edwards has eased past Darrell Clark and into the lead of the Team Rock Car Cement entry. Darrell Clark in the highest placed at the moment of the two Team Digicel cars, with Pascal Calvel. They're battling for third place, and up into third place he has got ahead of Timothy Stewart, with Aaron Paris fifth. Barry Gale is sixth, as over the Joker go Rhett Watson and Woody, of course, who started on the back row, having won the earlier race, and he'll be looking to pick up as many places as he can in this second race. Still ahead a lap later is the Rock Hard Cement car, Carlos Edwards, not managing to pull out much of an advantage, however, and here's a bit of progress up the field. He's already got past three of them as Woody, and he's just got past Josh Reed as well, which has promoted Brian Wood from the back row of the grid up into 8th place. Visibility not as smooth and crisp as it might be. So Woody there in the second half of that big group of cars. Half-distance lap, and it's less than a second the advantage that the leader has got at the moment, and he's not going to be able to take his Joker, Carlos Edwards, and come back ahead of Barry Gale, having a bit of a tussle there as we ride in car with him, with Aaron Paris, who got out of the way not entirely voluntarily, I don't think. You can see still a little bit of standing water there on the inside of Shack Shack as the car's right side splashes through, and still some standing water on the pit straight as well. Barry Gale at the head of this group, Aaron Paris behind him, but Aaron Paris being challenged and passed there by Ryan Wood, so Woody picks up yet another place. He really is just picking them off one by one. Lap 6, and still some great battles going on. Christian Jeffrey in the midfield now, they're defending against a challenge from Josh Reed, with behind him Aaron Paris and Jason Parkinson. Darrell Clark from second place, Pascal Calvel from third go over the Joker lap, and they rejoin, sandwiching Ryan Wood, who's now up to third place, bearing in mind he started on the back row of the grid. That is quite remarkable. 2 laps to go once they have completed this, and they cross the line and head off onto the penultimate lap. Carlos Edwards yet to take his Joker. Is he going to be far enough ahead of second place Darrell Clark, third place Woody, fourth place Pascal Calvel to take his Joker and manage to stay ahead? Well, we're going to see. Is he going to do it on the penultimate? Will he do it on the final lap? Down through the W's, you can still see a little bit of evidence of water there on the inside of the corner, so everybody keeping well away from that. Aaron Paris, you can see the screen is not... Oh, I'm sure that's not quite why. A little bit of double vision there, I think, for Aaron Paris. A gentle tap for Timothy Stewart, who manages to gather it all back together, however, and stay ahead of Aaron Paris. Although, having said that, Paris is challenging once again as they go down into the W's. Well, the Joker lap is being taken on the penultimate tour by the race leader, Carlos. So is he going to come out in front? Yes, he does. He comes out in the lead, turns into the right-hander at C-slash hairpin. He's got Darrell Clark right on his tailgate. Third is Woody. Fourth is Pascal Calvel. Fifth is Rhett Watson. And in sixth place, Barry Gale. So one final tour of the 2.01 kilometres of Bushy Park gets underway. And a challenge there for Woody on his Digicel teammate. Darrell Clark dives up the inside of the hammer. Darrell Clark has two wheels over the curve into the mile. He keeps going, but he's lost that place. So Woody, this is a remarkable performance from the championship leader. He's now right on the tail of the race leader, having started on the back row of the grid. He's looking to the outside as they go down into the W's. Is he going to dive along the inside? Yes, he does, but he doesn't quite manage to get the nose of the Digicel car alongside the Team Rock Hard Cement car, but he does on the exit. They head up and over Mill Brow, pretty much side by side, although even from this angle we can see that Carlos Edwards has just got a slight edge, possibly just a couple of inches, but easing ahead as they brake, if indeed he did brake at all, is Ryan Wood. He's going to run a bit wide on the exit though. There's contact between the two of them. Carlos Edwards retains his lead, but they're side by side as they now approach the banks. S's Woody will be on the inside. That should give him the advantage. Yes, it does. And there's a challenge behind as well on the inside too from Pascal Calvel from Martinique on the second of the Digicel twins, Darrell Clark. There were Suzuki Swift Sport mirrors bouncing around on the road just then, and coming towards the final turn. Is he going to be able to hold on, or can Carlos Edwards find a little bit of extra momentum? No, he can't. So Woody claims his second race win of the day from Carlos Edwards, Pascal Calvel third, and Darrell Clark fourth. So Woody exceeded even his own expectations with his second race win of the day, depriving Carlos Edwards of his first in the Swift Cup, while Pascal Calvel claims his first podium finish at Bushy Park to build on his personal best in qualifying on Saturday. A quick mention for Snapper Husbands after his pirouette early on. He set the fastest lap.
I enjoyed the first lap. It was right back.
You were right back?
Yeah, what he passed when he started.
How did you start so far back?
What he managed to come pretty back. Me and him had a good 3 laps.
I said I was going to come from the back, and I did. Yes, and first is a lot better. Yes, I'm not even sure if I can talk yet. I can't believe it happened, to be quite honest. Every lap, I was passing somebody and thinking to myself, you got this, keep calm, and everything came to fruition. It was a fantastic race. I took the joke lap on the first lap. Rhett was in front of me, and we had it ding dong for a little while. I got past him, and yes, I just need to let it settle in now. I mean, that's 50 points for the team Digicel this morning today. So yes, Digicel International, and Digicel is on top at the moment. So I'm very happy.
Oh, it's great. That race a while ago was fun. Very, very fun.
Yes, I feel good and I am very happy because it's the first time I am on the podium in Barbados in Challenge Suzuki. I'm very happy. Very, very.
It started out pretty wet, but then after a couple of laps, they had some racing lines that started to drought, but there's still some water. So I tried to keep the head on, and I know Woody was coming, but I couldn't hold him off much longer. He's a force for sure.
Welcome back to the Williams Digicel International Race Meet and round 4 of the Suzuki Challenge Series Swift Cup. With the final grid of the day based on points scored so far, it's no surprise to find Ryan Wood and Jason Parkinson on the front row. Darrell Clark and Barry Gale, who's had a really good day so far, are on row 2. Josh Reed sits on row 3 with Pascal Calvel. Carlos Edwards on row 4, having been handed a 4-grid penalty for an over-robust defence of his lead in race 2, He's next to Snapper Husbands. Rhett Watson and Aaron Paris are on row 5, Christian Jeffrey and Timothy Stewart on row 6. So off the grid for the final time today, Woody is leading. He's going to try and translate that pole position into an advantage as early as he can. Down into the hammer they go for the first time. Parkinson in second place, Darrell Clark third. Barry Gale running a little bit wide, couple of wheels, clips the curb, loses himself a position or two in the process. They all barrel down into Shack side by side as they go through the right and left flick onto the pit straight. Oh dear, Barry Gale a little bit too side by side there with Pascal Calvel bouncing across the gravel on the exit as you approach the Automotive Art Pits complex. So he's dropped back from the leading group by quite some margin. Virtually dry the track now, just one or two very slight patches of damp here and there. So we should be in for a good, clean 8 laps of Suzuki Challenge Series Swift Cup racing. So Woody leads from Parky. In third place is Darrell Clark. So it should be Woody, Parky and Clarky, really, I suppose. Midway down the field, Rhett Watson, who was the newcomer this weekend, standing in for Carl Catwell, battling away with Aaron Paris, as we're in car with Christian Jeffrey of Guyana, having just won the third SR3 Cup race of the day, straight back out into his Swift, and he's taken his Joker lap really early, hoping that he'll be able to pick off the others one by one as they do so as the race progresses. There's Woody down for the second time through the kink and into the hammer. As the race wears on, he extends his lead. He's got a second and a half or so at the moment. That's not quite good enough yet to take the Joker and come out still ahead. Barry Gale and Aaron Paris are the two. Oh, it's a bit bouncy riding in car with Barry Gale there. Like being on a roller coaster. He rejoins alongside Carlos Edwards. Is he going to be able to maintain the position? Carlos Edwards had a couple of wheels off the curb, over the curb there, off the circuit. He's running wide. Is he going to be able to fight back to Barry? No, Barry Gale's got it. I don't think we're going to see the Carlos Edwards car ahead. No, we're not. So down into the kink and the hammer goes Barry Gale, having a very successful Joker lap there, and he is in fifth place at the moment. So down into the W's, the leading group goes. There's Snapper, better placed in this race than he was in the earlier one. Christian Jeffrey and Timothy Stewart of Guyana and Jamaica respectively, having a tussle down at the tail end of the field. Both of them are still trying to find their feet in the Swift Cup. Hopefully they will be returning to get in more seat time in this very close and very evenly matched one-make championship. So there at the half-distance lap, Woody takes his Joker. He comes out still in the lead ahead of Joseph Parkinson and Darrell Clark, so all is well. On to the final lap, and Woody maintains his advantage very comfortably indeed. There's Parkinson in second, Darrell Clark third. Josh Reed is fourth, fifth is Snapper Husbands, and leading the rest of the field in sixth place there, the blue Team Suzuki car of Pascal Calvel. So Woody on his way to a third race win of the day, adding to those he has already achieved in the second summer series for the Suzuki Challenge Series Swift Cup. But he's diving over the Joker. He's taking a second Joker. Now, has he forgotten that he'd taken the Joker early on in the race? He took it on lap 4. He's followed over by Parkinson and by Clark. Why on earth did Woody do that? Because I have a feeling that the stewards at the part of the course are going to take a rather dim view. But we'll see. Woody crosses the line, takes the checkered flag, but what will happen next? Rare to see a retirement from a Swift Cup race. Aaron Paris it is, and his front left wheel didn't look quite as it should, so he checks his car while Woody checks the crowd.
I would just like to express my dissatisfaction with this man showing off blatantly to the crowd.
I thought you were saying you were going to express your dissatisfaction with your inability to catch him.
That was coming next. But I just want to say congrats to Woody. Unfortunately today the best I could do was best of the rest, but Woody is definitely a step above everybody else. He did the Joker lap twice and still finished a straight ahead of everybody else. Total disgrace to everybody else, but
congrats Woody on your third win of the day. How does it feel to be on top?
And I'm racing against 12 of the best. Well, 11 of the best, me being 12. And during qualifying and practice, we were separated by tenths of a second, hundredths of a second, so we're all close. But what slows us down is just traffic, lap traffic, slowing down, battling with each other. I got the getaway at the start and never looked back. But I look back once or twice in the mirror and I say, I can take the joke off a little early. But nevertheless, I took it twice because I opened up a lot more of a gap. But it was fantastic. I had a real good race. I mean, the guys aren't any slouches, but it was, you know, to the wall. I mean, there was no room for no more speed, maximum attack, maximum braking, and the car worked very well. That's Suzuki Swift, fantastic. Thanks to my sponsors, Digicel. Daryl, I think Daryl finished third.
Yeah, I finished third. I'm so happy about that. I may have even finished third for the whole day, so things are good today.
That's fantastic, brother.
Good job.
Okay, so what do you think about the new rule for next race where I get to drive your car and you get to drive mine?
Listen, I'll tell you what, give me any other car, I'll drive any other car.
Is that a challenge?
The last man that tried to do that, I don't know how things ended for him, so I hope you do it, buddy.
I'll drive any other car but the infra car because, or that one. Cameraman, have a look at that car.
Well, that is what Woody will be driving next race meet, folks. He will be driving my car and I will be driving his. So stand by one.
While missing the Joker lap incurs a penalty, so does telling a joke twice, as any rum shop regular should know. Woody was disqualified for his second run over the Joker Bridge, handing a third Swift Cup win to Jason Parkinson, with Daryl Clark and Josh Reed completing the podium, and Snapper Husbands finishing fourth with his second fastest lap of the day. Even with his disqualification from race 3, Ryan Wood still ended the day the highest point scorer, extending his advantage over Jason Parkinson by a further point. Josh Reed and Snapper Husbands are still in the mix as we look forward to the final round in October.
Well, I've just been using this weekend as a learning curve. Try to learn as much about the track as I can and learn as much about all the driver styles that are out there. So I'm just trying to learn, and hopefully next time I come back I'll be a bit more competitive.
I actually love the series, and I'm actually disappointed I didn't get in it earlier because now I'm behind. But it really allows drivers to fine-tune their driving skill. To not about power, it's more about a mental thing now, and it's great.
No race day at Bushy Park, Barbados would be complete without the prize giving, which was a well-attended affair. When it came to the Swift Cup, third place awards went to Daryl Clark, second to Jason Parkinson, but the winner for the day, not for the first time, was points leader Ryan Wood.